just joined us, it's the Breakfast Cafe right here on High Impact TV. I am Vivian Oguche, and this is the second part of the newspaper review, and I'm being joined right now by Adeniyi Ifetayo. He is a media analyst. Okay, I understand he's not here yet. He'll be joining us shortly. But one of the first things I'm going to be asking him really is this story on the front page on The Guardian. It's 2 in 1. My question is going to be Hydra-headed. So we're going to be talking about the president jetting off to the UK amid the call for a better Nigeria, right? For 2 weeks. It's off for 2 weeks. And then again, the second part of this particular story I'd like for us to take a look at is the lobbying for cabinet slots. There's been talks of a cabinet reshuffle. And I think Nigerians are nodding their head to that. But then again, I remember having a show on our sister station just yesterday, High Impact 102.1 FM, and the talk about a cabinet reshuffle was brought up. And the guest analyst says, okay, so you want a cabinet reshuffle. Whose bulk does this whole thing, whose table does the bulk stop at? It's the president. So even though you shuffle your cabinet and the man at the top does not perform well, who's to blame? So I'm going to find out from Adeniyi eventually if he joins us, if this is his sentiment exactly. But another story though I would like for us to also take a look eventually at is ICPC recovering 13 billion naira recovered or diverted from government coffers in 1 month. This is mind-boggling. It's 13 billion naira we are talking about. And right on time, Adeniyi Ifetayo is here. Oh my God, I've never been so happy to hear your voice like I am right now. Good morning, Adeniyi.
Good morning, it's my pleasure. Greetings from Kigali.
Oh, you are
trying to connect.
You are at it again. You are you're in Kigali. How are you and how is Kigali today?
Yeah, it's fine. Just landed from London. I want to connect to Lagos. I just hope Nigerians too can develop their aviation sector so that all other African nations can be doing their connecting flights. You know, even international, you are going to Johannesburg, you are going to Rwanda, you are going to anywhere. So even if you are coming from London, they bring you first to Nigeria and before you connect to your destination. It boosts the economy.
I think I say amen to your prayers. In fact, just this week, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago, Olumide and I were here and we're rejoicing that the Emirates resumed operations in Nigeria after 2 years. So we do hope that the aviation sector is really, really revived in Nigeria. Now, but let me bring your attention to this particular story on the front page of The Guardian, Adeniyi. Tinubu jets off to the UK amid lobbying for cabinet slots. It's a 2 in 1 for me, right? 2 in 1 because the president is off for 2 weeks and agitations for a better Nigeria continues to rage in the country. But the other part of this particular story is about the cabinet reshuffle. You know, talks about the president reshuffling his cabinet and people lobbying for slots. What's your take, though, regarding this particular 2 in 1 story?
First and foremost, you know, going on a working vacation to advanced country, you know, because you want to get things, you want to negotiate well, you know, increase our international policy to be favorable. And also, reshuffling cabinet is not a strange thing. You know, just like I said, you can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. If there's a way you need to bring in fresh hand, if there's a way based on your vision, your agenda that you have for the people. So I'm not against that. Reshuffling is part and parcel of governance. Even in a corporate organization, once in a while they do reshuffle, you know, just to make sure that they align with the goal and vision of the establishment. So then going for 2 weeks, just like he said, I want to hold him by his words when he said that he purposely chose the vice president, that somebody who can stand in place, act as a president. That is not about maybe it's from the west or it's from the north or it's from the south anyway. So let's see what is going to happen. We've had it in this country when our former president left, and the acting president, who was the vice president, was in charge. Things a bit better. So let's see how it's going to play out. But I believe going to negotiate, for international policy, international trade to be favorable to Nigeria. And kudos to him for Emirates that came back just 2 days ago. After 2 years absence.
Yes, and then the particular instance you referred to actually was when former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo took the helms when former President Buhari had to travel out of the country. You remember that Nigerians started calling him Starboy because he performed so well. So really, we are going to be watching out to see how Vice President Shettima performs. But let me also draw your attention to this particular story on the front page of The Guardian as well. It says that the ICPC recovers over 13 billion naira diverted from government coffers. This is it, in just 1 month. What's your take, though?
No, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
In fact, I was like, wow, what's going on? Anyway, and secondly, I was not surprised when I heard about it, because we have seen that in this country, a snake can swallow money, monkeys can swallow money. So, but my problem is not about recovering the funds or the money. What will it be used for? Let it be spelled out. Let Nigeria know. That's what I'm talking about, transparency. We have recovered ABCD, but it's attached to this project. Yes, it's going to government coffer, but they are going to attach it to this project, to that project, this infrastructure, so that the people, the locals, within that jurisdiction of the project or infrastructure that will be executed, will be aware, will be involved. And as that money is being released, so that it will not end up in a private pocket. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not about recovering billions. It's what will you use it for after you have recovered the funds. So that's my own headache in this whole thing, because we've heard a lot of time they recover funds, but we don't know what it was used for.
Yeah, I mean, I understand exactly where you're driving at. Remember the Abacha loot that's, was recovered by the past administration and all of that. It was channeled into all sorts of projects. I don't know if you enjoyed anything out of that particular Abacha loot, though, but it must be recorded that these monies that are recovered are really, they are really working for Nigerians.
Utilized.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let me quickly take you to this story on the front page of the Vanguard. It says reps reject CFR and demand GCON honor for speaker. Now, in another newspaper...
Is that our problem now?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that the problem right now? If you take a look at this particular headline on another newspaper, it's saying that the reps are saying that the House of Representatives is not inferior to the Senate. Let me have your take, though.
No, sometimes we have what we call misplaced priority. Mm-hmm. When you are there to legislate, to make law that will make Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, have a standard of living. We have so many issues that they are supposed to tackle, and it's just about make me GCFR or House of Rep is not inferior. In every organization, there's always organogram. Somebody must be at the top. You can't have everybody on the same position. So I just felt that that's a misplaced priority on their part. And come to look at it, everywhere in the world, even their salary scheme and all of that. So it shows that one is always higher than the other. So, but that's just a misplaced priority on their part when they are supposed to be talking about to liberate Nigeria from all these hunger crises, terrorism, security, flooding and all of that. So it's just a misplaced priority on the part of the reps.
I agree. Now, there's this particular one on the front page of the Daily Trust that says it's about constitutional review, and this is coming from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and he says that there must be rotational presidency. Rotational presidency is what Atiku is advocating for. On another national daily, on the front page of another national daily, he actually recommended a 5-year single term. What's your take?
I'm not sure if you could remember very well 2013, 2014, when President Goodluck Jonathan was proposing a single term tenure for president, not even that he's going to enjoy it. Most of these people, they stood against it, and now they are campaigning for it that one tenure presidency is good for any president that we're married. Anyway, when it's not favorable to you, it's very easier for you to go against it. You understand what I'm saying? So for saying that one single tenure is okay, because most of our presidents, whether past or the present one, after 1 or 2 years of their administration, they started strategizing, focusing on the next election. You understand what I'm talking about? And that one, it's diverted their attention from focusing on why they were elected and, making their election a priority. But it's okay, it's a good one if you can have a single tenure for both president and the governor. You see that it will also reduce the cost of governance. It will also reduce the cost of arbitration in the court of law. That once you are there, you can focus. Any elected, whether governor or president, you have 5 years. You put all what you need into it. But for some of them, they might want to become godfather to also install their protege, or to also install some of their sycophants so that they can correct and rule for the second time indirectly. But let's have that one single tenure. I think it will do us good. All
right, so you've addressed the issue of single tenure. How about rotational presidency? Do you think that will work for us here in Nigeria?
Nigeria is just a multidimensional nation, and with different, over 250 different ethnicity. You understand? So when you are saying regional, rotational, they mean regional, presidency. You will see that even these people too, if it's not favorable to them, they will still be the one. I'm sure you've heard of zoning. It's just an indirect or a pari passu. It goes along with zoning, that let this zone do it for this period, let this zone do it for this period. But you see other political parties, they say no, they go and bring another thing. Most of these politicians, just like I said, if it's not favorable to them, they will go against it. But when they see that it's something that can be favorable to them, that's what they will support. They hardly support for the good of Nigeria, just few, not all of them. So I stand to be corrected, because whatever policy, whatever initiation they want to make, it has to be in their own interest, because they know that they are very popular in a particular region. So if they zone into that region or they rotate it, they will know that they have some percentage or to get the ticket or to be elected as the president. But whatever it is, there's a federal character which recognizes, even if the president comes from zone A, let the vice president come from zone B, let the Senate come from zone C. So it's still indirectly rotational kind of. But what they want is that if it's zoned to a particular region, their chances of becoming the president or governor is very, very high. So it's not just all about their interest.
Now, let me put you on the hot seat right now, yeah? You are very well traveled, so I know you can handle this. It's about the Iran-Israeli war. Now, on the front page of the Daily Trust, it says that the federal government is moving to evacuate Nigerians in Lebanon. the federal government is going to evacuate Nigerians in Lebanon and bring them home. Is there going to be provisions for them to reintegrate these people into society? Are they going to be safer here? Will they join the rest of the masses and start crying for crying of hunger, high cost of fuel, and all of that? Well, let me not be a prophet of doom here. What's your take, though, regarding this particular story?
Yeah, the first question is, do we actually have national carrier? Most of the nations in the world that normally, whenever there's a disaster, whenever there's a war in any nation, they use their national carrier. And the one who is trying to stand to operate, I don't want to mention, to operate, who has a larger aircraft and all of that, they are trying to frustrate life out of him. And I'm sure they've been saying it for the past 3 or 4 days. Why have they not make a move? But those people, it's just a pity that when they come, they will just give them a battery, just a token tick that can sustain you. Nigeria, or they say in the jungle, everybody, you fight for your survival. I'm not sure Nigeria is ready for that. That's why I think Senator Ned Nwoko is proposing that we should have a social security system. I was just coming, a friend of mine who had an operation, he's not been working, but every week they gave him an allowance, that can sustain her for that period till she will recover. You understand? But I think those are the things that we need to do. Those are the things that we need to do in Nigeria, having a social security. So in case of disaster, those who need that money, that fund, can go to them directly. You don't need to go to local government to go and queue before you be told that your name is not on the list.
This thing you just said is, what you just did is to open Pandora's box. Because in Borno, you remember there was some massive flooding not too long ago in Borno. Properties lost, lives lost, animals escaping from zoos, inmates breaking out of the jail. And then there were donations from the federal government, from states, individuals, amounting to billions of dollars. And then just last week, we heard that the residents of Borno State are crying. They are saying they are sleeping on the streets. They are hungry. So you begin to wonder what happened to the money that was, contributed for their welfare. So if you have a social net,
social security number,
social security fund to care for Nigerians, how are we sure that these funds will be given to those who really need them?
That's what it takes us back to data collection. You understand? When they want to vote, how to get their PVC, campaigning, reorientating people is very easy for them. So what we need to start with is to start with our data collection. Our database needs to be managed very well. As long as people have a phone number, they can start with that. So that in a particular region, you know how many people that make call out of this place, you know how many people that, surf the internet. That is where you can know people who lives in Borno. As long as they have number, thank God for OP. We never knew that our phone number could become an account detail. So they can start with that. And
all right. Looks like the internet. Adeniyi, it looks like the network is not really friendly. You're going on and off. I think maybe because it's raining here. I don't know. But can you hear me though?
I wanted to board.
Okay, but can you hear me, Adeniyi?
Yeah. I need to leave now. Yes.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Have a safe trip. Have a fantastic trip here. And
Sorry,
thank you.
I was on the live TV. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Adeniyi Ifetayo. I think Adeniyi is actually about to board the plane, and we do appreciate your magnanimity, if I must use that particular word. Thank you for actually taking the time to be with us on the show. So he was actually going to land on how important data is. Some analysts will say data is life, and I agree. Well, then, that's about it. As regards the newspaper review. We will take a break. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us.